Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? It is good. Hello, hello. It is good. Hello, hello. Are we live? Are we live? I think
Are we
yeah, we're
live?
live, bro. We're live. We're It is live. good.
We're
Live. How are you doing, guys? Look at my new haircut. It's it's new. it's I like it, bro. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my god. I kind of look like the old Alpha Master from 2021. I like that Alpha Master. Anyways, that's like from the army days. All right. Nutrition foundations and supplementation, chapter 14 and 15 for day 6. It's going to be the nutrition portion of the exam. It's 10% of your grade. This is going to be 10% of your grade, guys. It's going to be the general nutrition information, where we're going to define the basic nutritional and dietary guidelines, define the macro and micronutrients and explain how they are used by the body, define the difference between supplements and ergogenic aids, performance enhancing drugs, controlled substances. So, we're going to be for general nutrition information, define the basic nutritional and dietary guidelines, define the macro and micronutrients and explain how they are used by the body, and define the difference between the supplements and ergogenic aids like performance enhancing drugs, controlled substances. Now, client dietary habits. You have to obtain an understanding of a client's dietary habits, assess shortcomings in a client's diet, and assess caloric intake relative to client's needs. And finally, you have the nutrition guidelines, the nutritional guidelines, offer basic education, nutritional guidance where you have to offer basic nutritional education and guidance, offer general nutritional education and guidance. You have to educate clients regarding food labels and portion size, educate clients regarding the current diet trends like fasting and fat diets, and educate clients regarding supplements and ergogenic aids, performance enhancing drugs, controlled substances. So all of the chapters, everything that we're going to look at today is going to be 10% of your grade. The nutrition portion of the examination weight of the NCCPT accredited exam. So let's get it. Let's get started. It's going to be chapter 14, uh, nutritional foundations, and chapter 15, supplementation. It's a little bit longer than I expected, but remember, it's only going to be 10% of your grade, so it's going to be very basic. External progression and gradation progression is going to be modifications to acute training variables that increase the challenge of movement pattern, and regression and modification to acute training variables that decrease the challenge of a movement pattern. So let's start with chapter 14, nutrition foundations. And we have some terms that we have to look over. It's going to be the macronutrients, going to be protein, carbohydrates, fat, and water, including the macronutrients. And the micronutrients is still going to be the vitamins, the minerals, and the antioxidants. Then you have to know the difference between simple and complex carbohydrates. You need to know what is glycemic index in the percentage form glycemic index GI. You need to know what fiber is, the energy from glucose, the fats also known as lipids. You need to know the fatty acids from the fats, then the triglycerides, which are going to be the body fats that like triglycerides, the saturated versus unsaturated fats, saturated versus unsaturated fats, and mono versus polysaturated fats. You have to watch the recommended total daily calories for each macronutrients, the recommended total daily calories for each macronutrients in a percentage form, the 9 essential amino acids, complete versus incomplete proteins, what is dehydration, catalyst versus a solvent, intracellular versus extracellular, macrominerals versus trace amounts, fat soluble versus water soluble vitamins, the free radicals prevented or delayed by antioxidants, which are going to be many found in vegetables. The free radicals prevented or delayed by antioxidants, which are found in vegetables. Dietary guidelines for Americans. You need to know that liver is a very nutrient dense. Liver is going to be a very nutrient dense food. Then you have to know the concepts 1 to 5, reading nutrition labels, nutrition facts, FDA, which is going to be the Food and Drug Administration, ingredient list, daily value, the hand size portions for males and females, and the diet range. It's a lot, bro. But remember, only 10% of your exam, so you're only gonna see a maximum of 14 questions out of the 140 from this chapter. So we're gonna go pretty quick over it. We're not even gonna focus on it like we're only have to know like the basic general terms and like some of the percentages. And I'm going to double check that in here in the learning objectives. So they're going to be chapter 14, nutrition foundations. Learning objectives, you have to name the three macronutrients and their primary functions in the body. So you're going to go over protein, fat, and carbohydrates. List the general recommendations for macronutrient intakes. In each of the macronutrients, you know have the general recommendations for macronutrient intake, like for example, for carbohydrates from 45 to 65% macronutrient intake. Then you have to define dehydration for the water and explain the general recommendations for water intake as well. You have to then explain the nutritional importance of minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants. List the general recommendations for micronutrient intake, the general recommendations for micronutrient intake. You have to describe the recommendations of the dietary guidelines for Americans. You have to describe the recommendations for the dietary guidelines for Americans. Then you need to explain how to read a nutritional label. You have to explain how to read a nutritional label and visualize general portion sizes. You have to explain how to read a nutritional food label, and visualize general portion sizes. And finally, you have to name and describe common diets and eating patterns. Name and describe common diets and eating patterns. So let's get started. Macro and micronutrients. The macronutrients are going to be protein, carbohydrate, fat, and water. It's going to be the macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates, fat, and water. And the micronutrients are going to be vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. And we're going to go over each of them. The carbohydrate is going to be the main source of energy in glucose for human's body and the brain. Carbohydrates is going to be the main source of energy in glucose for the human body and the brain. They protect muscle mass. Which is going to be the protein from being catabolized during exercise. They protect the muscle mass, which is going to be the protein from being catabolized during exercise, since the body burns the glucose from the carbohydrates first. They're going to protect the muscle mass protein from being catabolized during exercise, and there are going to be two types of carbohydrates: simple and complex carbohydrates. The two types of carbohydrates are going to be the simple carbohydrates and the complex carbohydrates. The recommendations for adults is going to be 45 to 65% of the total daily calories are going to be from carbohydrates. From 45 to 65% of the total daily calories are going to be from carbohydrates. And the glycemic index is going to be a measure of how quickly glycemic index is going to be a measure of how quickly blood glucose increases after carbohydrate ingestion. That's going to be the glycemic index, measure of how quickly blood glucose increases after carbohydrate ingestion. The glycemic index, a measure of how quickly blood glucose increases after carbohydrate ingestion. It's going to be the glycemic index. A measure of how quickly blood glucose increases after carbohydrate ingestion. Measure of how quickly blood glucose increases after carbohydrate ingestion. And in here, the fiber is going to be derived from plant-based foods. Fiber is going to be derived from plant-based foods that the body is unable to break down. It's going to be the fiber derived from plant-based foods that the body is unable to break down. And the calories per gram is going to be 4 calories per gram for carbohydrates. 4 calories per gram for carbohydrates. You have to use protein when you don't have enough glucose to facilitate the activity that we're taking on. You have to use protein when you don't have enough glucose to facilitate the activity that we are taking on. So if that glucose ends, then you're going to start using protein when you don't have enough glucose to facilitate the activity that we're taking on. And energy is an absolute need of the body. Energy is an absolute need of the body. Energy is an absolute need of the body, and use protein when you don't have enough glucose to facilitate the activity that we're taking on. So that was it for carbohydrates. And I'm going to, in here, show you what is glycemic index, because this is a very important part of the exam. And it's going to be a chart. It's going to be a number from 0 to 100 assigned to a food, with poor glucose arbitrarily giving the value of 100. So the glycemic index is also on the textbook, by the way. Uh, it's going to be right here on the textbook. So I'm going to go over glycemic index right here. It's going to be GI for simple and complex carbohydrates. Simple and complex carbohydrates are going to be the two types of carbohydrates. All foods affect the blood glucose different and sugar levels are not dependent on just a type of or amount of carbs consumed. The measure of how quickly blood glucose increases. The measure of how quickly the blood glucose increases after carbohydrate ingestion is known as the glycemic index. The measure of how quickly blood glucose increases after carbohydrate ingestion is going to be the glycemic index. Foods are scored from 1 to 100. With the slower digesting carbs, blood glucose, with the slower digesting carbs, the blood glucose increases at a slower rate at the low end, and fast digesting carbs, blood glucose increases at a faster rate at a high end. Pure glucose measures 100 on the glycemic index. If it is from pure glucose, it measures 100 on the glycemic index. Proteins and fats are not scored. Proteins and fats are not scored on this index. The glycemic index is specifically for carbohydrates. The GI of a food is typically considered to be low, medium, or high according to the following ranges. So if it is a low glycemic index, which is a system that ranks foods from a scale of 1 to 100, on a scale from 1 to 100 based on their effect on blood sugar levels. If it is low GI, it's going to be 1 to 55. Low glycemic index is from 1 to 55. Medium glycemic index is from 56 to 69. And high glycemic index is 70 and above. Remember that. Low glycemic index 1 to 55, medium 56 to 69, and high 70 and above. Notice how I didn't look because I want to retain this information on my brain. Low glycemic index 1 to 55, medium 56 to 69, and high is going to be 70 and above. And that's going to be the glycemic index graph. Low glycemic index like peanuts, lentils, ice cream, sweet potatoes, and medium is going to be from 55 to 69. Banana, blueberry muffin, brown rice, and high glycemic index like beans, potatoes, Gatorade, baguette, cornmeal, the glucose itself is going to be 100 or above. Fructose has a value of 19. Insulin is an hormone produced in the pancreas to regulate blood sugar. Uh, and hypoglycemia is going to be a condition of lower than normal blood glucose. Hypoglycemia is going to be a lower than normal blood glucose. A more manageable level. Glucose in the body, in the blood. So that's going to be the glycemic index. It's going to be a low GI from 1 to 55, medium GI from 56 to 69, and high GI 70 and above. So that was it for carbohydrates. For carbohydrates. And macronutrient intake for carbohydrates is going to be 45 to 65% of the total daily calories. The micronutrients. The macronutrients are protein, carbohydrates, fat, and water. Micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Carbohydrates is going to be the main source of energy in glucose for human body and the brain. Protect muscle mass. Protein from being catabolized during exercise. There are going to be two types: simple and complex carbohydrates. The recommendation for adults is going to be 45 to 65% of total daily calories. Recommendation for adults is going to be 45 to 65% of total daily calories. The glycemic index is going to be the measure of how quickly the blood glucose increases after carbohydrate ingestion. It's going to be the glycemic index, the measure of how quickly blood glucose increases after carbohydrate ingestion. Fiber is going to be derived from plant-based foods that the body is unable to break down. It's going to be fiber derived from plant-based foods that the body is unable to break down. And the calories per gram for carbohydrates is going to be 4 calories per gram for carbohydrates. Now, energy is going to be an absolute need of the body. Energy is an absolute need of the body, and you have to use protein when you don't have enough glucose to facilitate the activity that we're taking on. You have to use protein when you don't have enough glucose to facilitate the activity that we're taking on. Energy is an absolute need of the body, and you need to use protein. Energy is an absolute need of the body, and you need to use protein when you don't have enough glucose. Use protein when you don't have enough glucose to facilitate the activity that we're taking on. And energy is an absolute need of the body. Now, the fat is going to be also known as lipids. Fats are also known as lipids. It stores energy, protects protects vital organs, provides insulation, transports fat-soluble vitamins, and plays a key role in tissue growth and hormone production. Helps the body use vitamins and keeps skin healthy. So they're going to be some of the benefits of fats. Also known as lipids. Stores energy, protects vital organs, provides insulation, transports fat-soluble vitamins, plays a role in tissue growth and hormone production, helps the body use vitamins, and keeps the skin healthy. Stores energy, protects vital organs, provides insulation, transports fat soluble vitamins, uh, plays a key role in tissue growth and hormone production, helps the body use vitamins, helps the body use vitamins, and finally keeps the skin healthy. Helps the body use vitamins, and finally it keeps the skin healthy. Helps the body use vitamins, and finally it keeps the skin healthy. Helps the body use vitamins, and finally that it keeps the skin healthy. And it keeps the skin healthy. It keeps the skin healthy. The fatty acids, the fatty acids are going to be the smaller absorbable building blocks of the fats. Fatty acids is going to be the smaller and absorbable building blocks of the fats. It's going to be the fatty acids. In glucose, that's going to be the no. In carbohydrates, it's going to be the source of energy, glucose, and in fat, it's going to be the fatty acids. It's going to be the smaller and absorbable building blocks of fats. The fatty acids are going to be the small and absorbable building blocks of fats. Fatty acids is going to be the smaller and absorbable building blocks of the fats. Triglycerides are the most common form of fat in the body fat, and it can be saturated or unsaturated. It's going to be monounsaturated or polyunsaturated for unsaturated fats. So you have saturated, monounsaturated, or polyunsaturated. Triglycerides are going to be the most common form of fat in the body. It's going to be body fat. Triglycerides are the most common form of fat in the body. Triglycerides are the most common fat in the body. Triglycerides are going to be the most common form of fat in the body. Fatty acids are going to be the smaller absorbable building blocks of the fats, and the triglycerides are going to be the most common form of fat in the body, which is going to be the body fat, and it can be saturated or unsaturated, which is going to be monounsaturated or polyunsaturated. Essential fatty acids Essential fatty acids cannot be synthesized by the human body, must be obtained from the diet. The essential fatty acids cannot be synthesized by the human body. It must be obtained from the diet. It's going to be the essential fatty acids. Cannot be synthesized by the human body, must be obtained from the diet. It's going to be essential fatty acids cannot be synthesized by the human body. They must be obtained from the diet. Essential fatty acids cannot be synthesized by the human body. They must be obtained from the diet. The recommendation is going to be 30 to 35% of daily calorie intake, and the calories per gram is going to be 9 calories per gram. Recommendation of fat, the recommendation for adults for fat is going to be 30 to 35% of daily calorie intake. For fat, it's 30 to 35% of daily calorie intake, and the calories per gram is going to be 9 calories per gram for fats. They're going to be the daily calorie intakes, the general recommendations. So the daily calorie intake of the recommendations of daily calorie intake for fats is going to be 34 to 35%, and for protein for carbohydrates 45 to 65%. 45 to 65% for fat is going to be 45 to 30 to 35%. Uh, of daily calorie intake, and calories per gram is going to be 9. So fats are also known as lipids, stores energy, protects vital organs, provides insulation, transports fat soluble vitamins, plays a key role in tissue growth and hormone production, helps the body use vitamins, and keeps the skin healthy. Keeps the skin healthy. Uh, Fatty acids are going to be the smaller absorbable building blocks of the fats. Triglycerides are going to be the most common form of fat in the body fat. The triglycerides, the most common form of fat in the body, which is going to be the body fat, and it can be saturated or unsaturated, monounsaturated or polyunsaturated. Essential fatty acids cannot be synthesized by the human body. Must be essential fatty acids cannot be synthesized. Essential fatty acids cannot be synthesized by the human body. They must be obtained from the diet. So the essential fatty acids cannot be synthesized by the human body. They must be obtained from the diet. And the recommendations are going to be 30 to 35% of daily calorie intake. Calories per gram is going to be 9. Recommendations of daily calorie intake for fat is going to be 30 to 35% of daily calorie intake. And the calories per gram is going to be 9 calories per gram for fats, 9 calories per gram for fat. Now the protein is going to be the needed for building 9 calories per gram for fats. Protein is going to be needed for building and maintaining body tissues. To create cells, you need protein needed for building and maintaining body tissues. Amino acids is going to be the building blocks of protein, like the fatty acids are the building blocks of fat, and the glucose are the building blocks of carbohydrates. So protein is going to be needed for building and maintaining body tissues. The amino acids are going to be the building blocks of protein. Body requires the body requires 20 different amino acids. There are 9 essential amino acids that must be obtained from the diet. So the amino acids are going to be the building blocks of protein. The body requires 20 different amino acids, and 9 of them, there are 9 essential amino acids that must be obtained from the diet. So protein needed for building and maintaining body tissues. Amino acids are going to be needed for building and maintaining body tissues. Uh, Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. The body requires 20 different amino acids, and 9 are going to be essential amino acids that must be obtained from the diet. Now you have now in here you have the from the diet. In here you have the complete protein as a food source containing all 9 essential amino acids the body needs. A complete protein is going to be a food source containing all 9 essential amino acids that the body needs. And an incomplete protein is going to be a food source that lacks one or more of the 9 essential amino acids. So a complete protein is a food source that contains all 9 essential amino acids that the body needs. And an incomplete protein is going to be a food source that lacks one or more of the 9 essential amino acids. Now, the general recommendation for protein is going to be 0.66 to 0.80 per kilogram of body weight per day. The general recommendation instead of a percentage is going to be in 0.66 to 0.80 per kilogram of body weight per day. And the calories per gram for protein is going to be 4 calories per gram. So it is this general recommendation of 0.66 to 0.80 per kilogram of body weight per day, 0.66 to 0.80 per kilogram of body weight per day is going to be a general recommendation that is going to vary. These recommendations are going to vary based on the physical activity, sex, age, weight, and health status. These recommendations are going to vary based on the physical activity that the person does, the sex, the age, the weight, and the health status. Recommendations vary based on physical activity, sex, age, weight, and health status. Calories per gram are going to be 4 calories per gram. 4 calories per gram. Remember, it's going to be low glycemic index of 1 to 55, medium 56 to 69, and high 70 and above. Blood sugar levels. Consumption. So 10 to 35% of your calories should come from protein. 10 to 35% of your calories should come from protein. Remember that. Anything between 10 to 35% of the calories should come from protein. Then for carbohydrates, it's 45 to 65% of your calories should come from carbohydrates. And 30 to 35% of your daily calorie intake should come from fats. 30 to 35 from fat, 30 to 35% from fat, 30 to 35% from fat, 10 to 35% from protein, and 45 to 65% from carbohydrates. Yeah. Remember that simple carbohydrates is right here. They simple short chain carbohydrates, and complex carbohydrates made of larger molecules that are broken down into monosaccharides. Yeah. So, consumption. All right. If we continue here, we're gonna see that calories per gram for protein is going to be 4 calories per gram. So the protein is going to be the needed for building blocks, for building and maintaining body tissues. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. The body requires 20 different amino acids. 9 are essential amino acids that must be obtained from the diet. Now in here you have a complete protein, which is going to be a food source containing all 9 essential amino acids that the body needs. An incomplete protein, a food source that lacks one or more of the 9 essential amino acids. The general recommendation is going to be from 0.66 to 0.80 per kilogram of body weight per day. Per day. And that's going to be this recommendation is going to vary based on the physical activity of the person, the sex, the age, the weight, and the health status. Overweight, underweight. The calorie per gram is going to be 4 calories per gram. And the last macronutrient, 4 calories per gram. And the last macronutrient is going to be water. Water makes up around 60% of the total body weight in adults and about 75% in children. So water makes around 60% of the total body weight in adults and about 75% in children. 60% of the total body weight from adults is going to be made of water. And in children, that's going to be increased to 75% in children. It's going to be critical to life and essential for many body functions. Water makes up around 60% of the total body weight in adults and about 75% in children. Critical to life and essential for many body functions is going to be critical to life and essential for many body functions. Water acts as a solvent, a catalyst, a lubricant, uh, and, and temperature regulator, mineral source, and the regulator of growth. Dehydration is going to be a harmful loss or removal of water in the body. The general recommendations for adults is going to be between 91 and 125 fluid ounces or 2.7 to 3.7 liters of water per day. You have to consume 2.7 to 3.7 liters of water per day. So water makes up around 60% of the total body weight in adults and 75% in children. It's going to be critical to life and essential for many body functions. Water acts as a solvent, a catalyst, a lubricant, a temperature regulator, a mineral source, and a regulator of growth. And mineral source and a regulator of growth. And dehydration is going to be a harmful loss or removal of water in the body. Dehydration is going to be a harmful loss or removal of water in the body. That's going to be dehydration. It's going to be Dehydration is going to be a harmful loss or removal of water in the body. It's going to be dehydration. A harmful loss or removal of water in the body. Dehydration is going to be a harmful loss or removal of water in the body. And the general recommendations for adults are going to be between 91 and 125 fluid ounces of or 2.7 to 3.7 liters of water per day. It's going to be the general recommendation for adults in water is going to be between 2.1 and it's going to be between 91 and 125 fluid ounces of water or 2.7 to 3.7 liters of water per day. The general recommendation. What water? Water as a solvent, catalyst, agent, temperature regulator, a mineral source, and a regulator of dehydration is going to be a harmful loss or removal of water in the body. And the general recommendation for adults is going to be between 91. The general recommendation for adults is going to be between 91 and 125 fluid ounces or 2.7 to 3.7 liters of water of water of water per day per day per day per day per day per day per day. Now the micronutrients are going to be minerals. The micronutrients are going to be minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants. Vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. And here, that was the water. Yeah, I wanted to see nutritional importance of minerals. Now the dehydration is going to be a harmful loss or removal of water in the body. And and the general recommendation for adults are going to be between 91 and 125 fluid ounces of water, or 2.7 to 3.7 liters of water per day. Per day. Now the micronutrients are going to be minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants per day. The micronutrients are going to be minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants. Micronutrients. You have some micronutrients are going to be minerals. Minerals. The body needed for several body functions. Minerals are going to be needed for several body functions and they do not provide calories. The minerals do not provide calories. Minerals are going to be needed for several body functions and they do not provide calories. Some minerals are required in large quantities, we're going to be the macro minerals, while others are only required in trace amounts, like the trace minerals. Some macro minerals are going to be calcium, chloride, magnesium, phosphate, potassium, and sodium. Some macro minerals are going to be calcium, chloride, magnesium, phosphate, potassium, and sodium. And the other one in trace amounts is going to be trace minerals. The trace minerals are going to be the trace minerals are going to be cobalt, copper, fluoride, iodine, iron, manganese, selenium, and zinc. Zinc is going to be a trace mineral, remember that. So some macro minerals are going to be calcium, chloride, magnesium, phosphate, potassium, and sodium. And trace minerals are going to be cobalt, copper, fluoride, iodine, iron, manganese, selenium, and zinc. Iron and zinc are going to be trace minerals, remember that. And zinc. Now, vitamins are going to be essential for many physiological processes. Cobalt, fluoride, iodine, iron, manganese, selenium, selenium and zinc. Selenium and zinc. Now, vitamins are going to be essential for many physiological processes. The vitamins are going to be essential for many physiological processes. Vitamins are going to be essential for many physiological processes, and you have two categories, fat soluble and water soluble. The vitamins are going to be essential for many physiological processes, and you have two categories, fat soluble and water soluble. The vitamins are going to be essential for many physiological processes. The vitamins are going to be essential for many physiological processes, and you have two categories of vitamins. You have fat-soluble vitamins and water-soluble vitamins. Vitamins are going to be essential for many physiological processes, and you have two categories. You have fat-soluble vitamins and water-soluble vitamins. Fat-soluble vitamins, you have vitamin A, D, E, and K, and water-soluble is going to be B and C, vitamin B and C. So vitamins are going to be essential for many physiological processes, and you have two categories are going to be fat soluble and water soluble vitamins. And some fat soluble vitamins are going to be vitamins A, D, E, and K, and water soluble vitamins are going to be vitamins B, B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, B9, and B12, and and finally vitamin C. Vitamin C. So that's the vitamins. Essential for many physiological processes. You have two categories, fat soluble and water soluble. Fat soluble vitamins are going to be vitamins A, D, E, and K. And water-soluble vitamins are going to be vitamins B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, B9, and B12, and vitamin C. And vitamin C as well, vitamin C. And finally, the antioxidants are going to be free radicals. For antioxidants, free radicals can damage cells, protein, and DNA, as well as contribute to chronic disease. Antioxidants work, prevent, or delay the damage caused by free radicals. Antioxidants work to prevent or delay the damage caused by free radicals. That's going to be the antioxidants work to prevent or delay the damage caused by free radicals. Free radicals can damage cells, protein, the DNA, as well as contribute to chronic disease. So the job of antioxidants is going to be that they work to prevent or delay damage caused by the free radicals. The antioxidants work to prevent or to delay the damage caused by the free radicals. So in here, the following substances are known for their antioxidant properties. The following substances are known for their antioxidant properties. The following substances are known for their antioxidant properties. Many are found in vegetables. So you have in here the following substances are known for their antioxidant properties. The following substances are known for their antioxidant properties, and many are found in vegetables. The following substances are known for the antioxidant properties. Many are found in vegetables. You have the beta carotene, you have the phenols, the coenzyme Q10, the phytoestrogens, the glutathione, the polyphenols, the flavorions, the selenium, the lipoic acid, selenium, the lipoic acid, the vitamin C, you have manganese and vitamin E. So antioxidants are free radicals that can damage cells, protein, and DNA as well to contribute to chronic disease. Antioxidants work to prevent or delay the damage caused by free radicals. So the following substances are known for their antioxidant properties. Many are found in vegetables. The beta-caroline, the coenzyme Q10, the phytoestrogens, the glutathione, the polyphenols, the flavonoids, the selenium, the lipoic acid, the vitamin C, the manganese, and the vitamin E. And the vitamin E. The dietary guidelines for Americans. Dietary guidelines for Americans. Catalyst versus solvent. Liver is a very nutrient dense food, remember that. So you have some dietary guidelines for Americans in here. In here, I did not, like one of the general recommendations for micronutrient intake is not here, dude. I want to see if it's in the book though. First, remember that low glycemic is 1 to 55, medium is 2 to 69, and high is going to be 70 at 12. All right, let's see. Dietary guidelines for Americans. Yeah, first I want to see. Yeah, and here is the general recommendations for macronutrient intake. Okay, it's not here. All right, but like let's continue this, all right? The dietary guidelines for Americans, guidelines for healthy lifelong eating habits for Americans, 2 years age and older. It's gonna be the dietary guidelines for Americans. Dietary guidelines for Americans are gonna be dietary guidelines. The dietary guidelines for Americans are going to be guidelines for healthy lifelong eating habits for Americans that are going to be 2 years and age and older. Dietary guidelines for Americans are going to be guidelines for a healthy lifelong eating habits for Americans 2 years of age and older. There are going to be five concepts in total. Five concepts in total for the dietary guidelines for Americans. They're going to be the guidelines for a healthy lifelong eating habits for Americans that are going to be 2 years of age and older. You have five concepts. Remember that liver is very nutrient dense food. The liver is going to be a very nutrient dense food. Dietary guidelines for Americans, guidelines for healthy, lifelong eating habits for Americans that are going to be 2 years of age and older. So you have five concepts. Five concepts, concepts one to five. Concept one, following a healthy eating pattern across the lifespan. A lifespan. Concept one is going to be to follow a healthy eating pattern across the lifespan. Two is gonna focus on the variety, nutrition dense, focusing on variety, nutrition density, and food amounts. Concept three is going to limit calories from added sugars and saturated fats and reducing sodium intake. Concept four is going to be shifting to healthier food and beverage choices. Concept four is going to shift to healthier food and beverage choices. And concept five is going to be supporting healthy eating patterns for all. Gonna be the five concepts for the dietary guidelines for Americans. Guidelines for healthy, lifelong eating habits for Americans that are 2 years of age and older. Concept one is going to be to follow a healthy eating pattern. Concept one is going to be to following a healthy eating pattern across the lifespan. Concept one, follow a healthy eating pattern across the lifespan. Uh, Concept two is going to be focusing on a variety. Concept two, focusing on variety, nutrient density, and food amounts. Concept two is going to be focusing on variety, nutrient density, and food amounts. Concept two is going to be focusing on variety, nutrient density, and food amounts. Focusing on variety, nutrient density, and food amounts. Concept three is going to be limit calories from added sugars and saturated fats and reducing sodium intake. Concept three is going to limit calories from added sugars and saturated fats and reducing sodium intake. Concept three is going to be to limit calories from added sugars and saturated fats and reducing sodium intake. Concept four is going to be shifting to healthier food and beverage choices. Shifting to healthier food and beverage choices is going to be concept four. And concept five is going to be supporting healthy eating patterns for all. The five concepts follow a healthy eating pattern across the lifespan, focusing on variety, nutrient density, and food amounts, limit calories from added sugars and saturated fats, and reducing sodium intake, shifting to healthier food and beverage choices, and supporting healthy eating patterns for all. FFLSS. FFLSS. Dietary guidelines for Americans. Remember that liver is very nutrient dense. Liver is going to be very nutrient dense food. A very nutrient dense food is going to be liver. A very nutrient dense food. So dietary guidelines for Americans is going to be guidelines for healthy dietary guidelines for Americans, guidelines for healthy lifelong eating habits for Americans that are going to be 2 years of age and older. For Americans that are going to be 2 years of age and older. And in here you have five concepts. Number one, follow a healthy eating pattern across the lifespan. Two, focusing on variety, nutrient density, and food amounts. Three, limit calories from added sugars and saturated fats and reducing sodium intake. Concept four is going to be shifting to healthier food and beverage choices, shifting to healthier food and beverage choices. And concept five is going to be supporting healthy eating patterns for all. Concept five is going to be to support healthy eating patterns for all, supporting healthy eating patterns for all, supporting healthy eating patterns for all, for all. Now, reading nutrition labels. Now you have to read nutrition labels. Reading nutrition labels. Reading nutrition labels. Reading nutrition labels. Nutrition facts. Label required by the FDA on most food and beverages that details the food's nutrient content. So reading nutrition labels. Reading nutrition labels. And nutrition facts are going to be label required by the FDA on most food and beverages. The nutrition fact. Label required, reading nutrition labels. And nutrition facts are going to be label required by the FDA on most food and beverages that details that details the food's nutrient content. Ingredient list is going to be a list provided on a food label of each ingredient in a product in descending order of prominence. One that comes first is the one that is the most of. The one that comes first is the one that there is the most of. Now the daily value is going to be reference amounts. The daily value is going to be reference amounts expressed in grams, milligrams, or micrograms of nutrients to consume or not to exceed in each day. The daily value is going to be the reference or amounts expressed in grams, milligrams, or micrograms of nutrients to consume or not to exceed in each day. The daily value is going to be reference amounts expressed in grams, milligrams, or micrograms of nutrients to consume or not to exceed in each day. In each day, and now you have the hand size portion sizes. Now, the hand size portion sizes for males and females. For males, 2 pounds of protein, 2 pound portions of protein dense food with each meal, 2 feet of vegetables with each meal, 2 cup handfuls of carb dense food with each meal, and 2 entire tons of fat dense food for most meals. For females, this is half of men, 1 pound portion of protein dense food with each meal, 1 feet of vegetables with each meal, 1 cup handful of carb dense food with each meal, and 1 entire ton of fat dense food with most meals. It's gonna be half of males. Half of males. And finally, you have the diet trends. The diet trends are going to be detox diets, carnivore diet, low fat or no fats diet. You have the paleo diet, eating by blood type, gluten-free diet, the raw food diet. You have the DASH diet, the low energy or very low energy diet, the Mediterranean diet, which is the one that they use in Europe, in the Mediterranean countries, the plant-based diets, the intermittent fasting, the keto diet, the the keto diet, the carb cycling, and the Atkins diet. The carb cycling, the keto diet, which is going to be no carbohydrates or very low carbohydrates, and the carb cycling diets, and the keto diet, and the Atkins diet. And the Atkins diet is going to be the diet trends for each. And that was it for chapter 15. And now for chapter 14, nutrition foundations. Chapter 15 is going to be supplementation. But before we continue, we're gonna definitely go over at the workbook. Remember, reading nutrition labels, you have nutrition facts, which are labels required by the FDA on most food and beverages that detail the food's nutrient and content. Ingredient lists are lists provided on the food label. Yearly is the list provided on the food label of each ingredient in a product in ascending order of prominence. The one that comes first, the one that is there is the most of. The daily value is going to be the reference amounts expressed in grams, milligrams, or micrograms to consume, nutrients to consume or not to exceed each day, of nutrients to consume or not to exceed each day, or not to exceed each day. And in here you have the hand size portions for the males, the two portion of pound protein dense food, pound portions of protein dense food with each meal, 2 feet of vegetable with each meal, 2 cup handfuls of carb dense food with each meal, and 2 entire tons of fat dense food with most meals, and hand size portions for females, half of men, 1 pound portion of protein each meal. Handful of carbs, which meal, and entire fat dense food with most meals. And diet trends, you have the detox diets, the carnivore diets, the low fat or no fat diets, the paleo diets, the eating by blood type, the gluten-free diet, the raw food diet, the DASH diet, the low energy or very low energy diet, the Mediterranean diet, the plant-based diets, intermittent fasting, the carb cycling, the keto diet, and the Atkins diet. Atkins diet. And saturated fat is healthy, saturated fat isn't healthy. Saturated isn't healthy, and saturated is healthy. Saturated fat, unsaturated fat. Saturated is a solid at room temperature, and saturated is going to be liquid at room temperature. So let's now go over the workbook. We're gonna go over 84, the nutrition foundations. Nutrition foundations. So macronutrient and micronutrient. Macronutrient is a type of food necessary in large quantities in the diet to support function and energy production. They include carbohydrates, carbs, protein, fats, and water. Micronutrients are substances required in smaller quantities in the diet for optimal body functioning. They include vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, each play an important role in general health, normal body function, recovery, and human performance. Macronutrient and micronutrient. It's in the glutes. It's the glutes in the glutes. Dumbbell Romanian deadlift uses the hamstrings and the glutes. Uh, Dumbbell chest, dumbbell chest press, the pectoralis major, barbell bench press, standing cable chest press, and the push-ups. The lateral pull down works at the lateral pull down. It's going to work the latissimus dorsi. The lateral pull down works the latissimus dorsi, the full abs, and the seated cable row. Like extension is going to work the quadriceps, and it's going to alternative workouts are going to be dumbbell walking and forward lunge and leg press. Dumbbell walking and forward lunge and leg press. Forward lunge and leg press that works the quadriceps. The quadriceps specifically. The machine assisted dips is going to work the machine assisted dips is going to work the triceps branchy. The machine assisted dips is going to work the triceps branchy. And alternative exercises are going to be the cable row extension and the base and the bench dips. The machine assisted dips is going the prime movers of the machine assisted dips is going to be the triceps branchy. And alternative exercises are going to be the cable row extension and the base and the bench dips. And the bench dips. I knew that shit. The bench dips. Upright row, deltoids, dumbbell seated overhead press. Upright row is going to work the deltoids, and alternative is going to be dumbbell seated overhead press. And finally, the dumbbell split squats is going to work the quadriceps and the glutes. The dumbbell split squats is going to work the quadriceps and the glutes. The dumbbell split squat is going to work the quadriceps and the glutes, and alternative exercises for the prime movers involved in this exercise is going to be the seated and angled leg press and barbell back and goblet squats. Barbell back and goblet squat. This video. Nutritional foundations for nutritional foundations. After my break, I'm gonna go over that because I'm already like 50 minutes, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I am, bro. Nutritional foundations. I'm pretty sure I am, bro. Nutritional foundations. I'm pretty sure I am, bro. I really like that I'm bald. I'm just kidding. Why did I say that? Uh, say that. Uh, yeah, dude, I need to take a break. For real, for say real. That. I want to take a break right now. And then it's gonna be supplementation. Okay, what actually matters for the exam is going to be the information from the workbook because it goes more into detail. Here, the nutrition foundations information on the workbook is going to be what actually matters. All right, now let's go over Nutrition Foundations, Chapter 14, the workbook in Nutrition Foundations. Nutrition Foundations, Chapter 14 in the workbook. Define macronutrient and micronutrient. Macronutrient is a type of food necessary in large quantities in the diet to support function and energy production. They include the carbohydrates, the carbs, the protein, the fats, and the water. Micronutrients are substances required in small quantities in the diet for optimal body functioning. They include vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Each plays an important role in general health, normal body function, recovery, and human performance. Each of these plays an important role in general health, in normal body function, in recovery, and in human performance. Each plays a major role, an important role in general health, in normal body function, in recovery, and in human performance. So the three macronutrients are going to be carbohydrate, proteins, and fats. Macronutrients is a type of food necessary in large quantities in the diet to support function and energy production. They include a type of food necessary in large quantities in the diet to support function and energy production. They include carbohydrates, carbs, protein, fats, and water, and water, and the micronutrients are going to be substances required in small quantities in the diet for optimal body function. Micronutrients are going to be substances required in small quantities in the diet for optimal body functioning. For optimal body functioning. They include, they are going to include, they are going to include vitamins, they are going to include vitamins, they are going to include vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. They are going to include vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. And antioxidants. Each plays an important role in general health, normal body function, uh, recovery, and human performance. Each plays an important role in them. Each plays an important role in general health, uh, normal body function, recovery, and human performance. The three macronutrients, the three macronutrients and human performance. The three macronutrients are going to be carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. That's going to be the three macronutrients. The three macronutrients, name the three macronutrients. They are going to be carbohydrates, proteins, and fats are going to be the three macronutrients. Carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Which macronutrient is the primary source of energy in the body? The primary source of energy in the body is going to be the carbohydrate, the carbs. Which macronutrient is going to be the primary source of energy for the body? The macronutrient which is the primary source of energy in the body, the macronutrient which is going to be the primary source of energy in the body is going to be the macronutrient. This is going to be the primary source of energy for the body is going to be the carbohydrate, the carbs. Explain what each macronutrient is broken down to in the body. The carbohydrates are processed into glucose after being digested, which is converted into energy and used to support various metabolic processes, including physical and mental activity. When sugar moves into the cells, when sugar moves into the cells, blood glucose begins to stabilize. When sugar moves into the cells, when sugar moves into the cells, blood glucose begins to stabilize. If all the glucose is not used for energy, some of it is stored in the liver as glycogen. If all the glucose is not stored for energy, some of it is going to be stored in the liver as glycogen. If all the glucose is not used for energy, then some of it is going to be stored in the liver as glycogen. The primary source of energy for high intensity exercise comes from carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are going to be processed into the glucose after being digested, which is converted. Explain what each macronutrient is broken down to in the body. Carbohydrates. Explain what each macronutrient is broken down to in the body. Uh, Carbohydrates are processed into glucose after being digested, which is converted into energy and used to support various metabolic processes, including physical and mental activity. When sugar moves into the cells, blood glucose begins to stabilize. If all the glucose is not used for energy, some of it is stored in the liver as glycogen. Some of it is stored, if glucose is not used for energy, some of it is stored in the liver as glycogen. The primary source of energy for high intensity exercises comes from the carbohydrates. Fatty acids are the smaller and absorbable building blocks of fat, and they can be saturated or unsaturated. The free fatty acids combine with glycerol. Free fatty acids combine with glycerol to form a triglyceride. Triglycerides are the type of fat that, in fact, are the most common form of fat in the body fat. The body makes triglycerides, and as a part of the diet, they make up the majority of the fats that we eat. The body makes triglycerides, and as a part of the diet, the body makes triglycerides, and as a part of the diet, they make up the majority of the fats that we eat. They they make up the majority of the fats that we eat. Fats that we eat. And the protein is going to be made up. And in here, the protein is made up of chains of amino acids. The protein is going to be made up of chains of amino acids, which are necessary for building and maintaining body tissues. The protein is going to be made up of chains of amino acids. The protein is going to be made up of chains of amino acids, which are necessary for building and maintaining body tissues. Protein may be broken down for energy, but it's not a preferred energy source for the body. Typically, protein breakdown for energy occurs when intake of the other macronutrients is insufficient, during times of starvation, overall negative energy balance, or in extreme cases, or in some extreme cases, or in cases of extreme exertion, Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. Amino acids are going to be the building blocks of protein. They are made of the following four elements. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. They are made of the following four elements: hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein, and they are going to be made up of the following four elements: hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon. Hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon. It's going to be for protein. They're going to be made of hydrogen, of hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon. Period. And carbon. Period. Name an example of fish. Name an example of fish. A simple carbohydrate is going to be fruits, vegetables, milk products, and processed foods. It's going to be simple carbohydrates. One monosaccharide. And complex carbohydrates, starches, fibers, legumes, uh, larger molecules that are broken down into monosaccharides. Simple short chain, small chain carbohydrates. Rapid, rapid blood glucose fluctuations and prevent rapid blood glucose fluctuations. So name an example of each. Name an example of each. Name an example of fish is going to be a simple carbohydrate, is going to be fruits, vegetables, milk products, and processed foods. It's going to be simple carbohydrates, fruits, vegetables, milk products, and processed foods. Complex carbohydrates are going to be starches and fibers, legumes, starchy vegetables, and whole grain breads and cereals. Starches and fibers, legumes, starchy vegetables, and whole grain breads and cereal. Starches and fibers, legumes, starchy vegetables, and whole grain breads and cereal. Here is broken down into monosaccharides and prevent rapid glucose fluctuations. The following ranges on blood sugar levels. Now here you have the general intake recommendations for each macronutrient as a percentage of the total daily calories or mass per body weight. So give the general in give the general intake recommendations for each macronutrients as a percentage of the total daily calories or amount per body weight. Give the general intake recommendations for each macronutrient as a percentage of the total daily calories or amount per body weight. So for carbohydrates, the intake is going to be between 45 to 65% of the total daily calories, or 900 to 1,300 calories, or of a 2,000 calorie diet at a daily. For carbohydrates, the general intake recommendations for each macronutrient as a percentage of the total daily calories or amount per body weight. For carbohydrates, the intake is between 45 to 65% of total daily calories, or 900 to 1,300 calories of a 2,000 calorie diet. The American Heart Association recommends keeping fat calories to 30 to 35% of the daily calorie intake. Staying closer to 20% is beneficial for weight loss and maintenance. International Olympic Committee recommends following a meal plan with no less than 15 to 20% of fat for highly active individuals and athletes. The International Olympic Committee recommends following a meal plan with no less than 15 to 20% of fat, a meal plan with no less than 15 to 20% of fat for highly active individuals and athletes. With no less than 15 to 20% of fat for highly active individuals and athletes. And protein intake recommendations vary, and athletes, and protein intake recommendations vary based on the physical activity, sex, and health status. It is also dependent. Protein intake recommendations vary based on physical activity, sex, and health status. It is also It is also dependent. It is also dependent upon the client goals. Increasing protein, increasing the protein intake leads to greater. Increasing the protein intake leads to greater strength and muscle mass. Increasing the protein intake leads to greater strength and muscle mass gains when paired with resistance training exercise. When in a negative energy balance, it helps preserve muscle mass. When in a negative energy balance, it helps preserve muscle mass. Guidelines for protein intake include estimated average requirement and the RDA, which are 0.66 to 0.80 per kilogram of body weight per day. The RDA of protein is 0.8 of body weight or 0.36 grams per pound of body weight. Most research points an optimal intake of 0.7 to 1 grams per lb or between 10% and 35% of daily calories. Between 10% to 35% of daily calories for protein, 30 to 35% for fat. For highly active individuals and athletes. And for carbohydrate, the intake is between 45 to 65% of total daily calories, or 900 to 1,300 calories of a 2,000 calorie diet. That's going to be the general recommendation for each macronutrient as a percentage of total daily calories or amount per body weight. As a percentage of total daily calories or amount per body weight. And in here you have name the 9 essential amino acids. The 9 essential amino acids are going to be isoleucina, BCAA. Isoleucine is going to be BCAA, leucine, BCA, histidine. Then you have lysine, the methionine, phenylalanine, the treonine, the tryptophan, and the vanille, and the valine, the 9 essential amino acids. Oh, and 35% of daily calories. Right. Nothing else, not Mm. So the 9 essential amino acids are going to be isoleucine, leucine, histidine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, treonine, tryptophan, and vanille. And treonine, tryptophan, and valine, VCAA. Valine is going to be VCAA as well. So, what percentage of water in the body is intracellular and what percentage is extracellular is important. What percentage of water in the body is intracellular and what percentage is extracellular? Water in the body can be divided into intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid. Intracellular fluid is water found within the cells of the body, while extracellular fluid is water found outside of the cells and between tissues. Approximately two-thirds of the body's total water Approximately two-thirds of the body's water, 67%, is going to be found within the cells, and one-third of the body's total water, 33%, is going to be outside the cells. Two-thirds of the total body water is going to be within the cells, and one-third is going to be outside the cells. So two-thirds within the cells and one-third outside the cells. And you're going to see that. Verify your genes going to be outside the cells. So two-thirds is going to be inside, and one-third is going to be outside the cells. Water in the body it can be divided into so the percentages. Water in the body can be divided into intracellular fluid. Water in the body can be divided into intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid. Intracellular fluid is water found within the cells of the body, while extracellular fluid is going to be water found outside the cells. It's going to be water found outside the cells and found and between tissues. outside the cells, and between tissues. Approximately two-thirds of the body's total water, 67%, is going to be found within the cells, and one-third of the body's total water is going to be found outside the cells. Outside the cells. Now, outside the cells. Uh, now, what is the general recommendation? Now, what is the general recommendation for water intake daily for adults? What is the general recommendation for water intake daily for an adult? What is the general recommendation for water intake daily for an adult? What is the general recommendation for water intake daily for an adult? The general recommendation for a water intake daily for an adult is going to be between 91 and 125 fluid ounces, or between 2.7 to 3.7 liters of water per day. It's going to be the general recommendation for water intake daily for an adult. Between 91 and 125 fluid ounces of water, or from 2.7 to 3.7 liters of water per day. So name the three macrominerals. The three macrominerals are going to be calcium, chloride, and magnesium. You have three macrominerals and three microminerals. Calcium, chloride, magnesium, phosphate, and potassium and sodium. Calcium, chloride, magnesium, phosphate, potassium, and sodium are going to be the macrominerals. And the trace amounts minerals are going to be cobalt, copper, fluoride, iodine, iron, manganese, selenium, and zinc. The general recommendation for water intake daily as an adult. The general recommendation for water intake daily for an adult. The general recommendation for water intake daily for an adult is going to be between 91 and 125 fluid ounces, or from 2.7 to 3.7 liters of water per day. Now, three macrominerals are going to be calcium, chloride, and magnesium, also fluoride, phosphate, and sodium. Phosphate, potassium, and sodium, sorry. Phosphate, potassium, and sodium. Fluoride is going to be a trace amount. Calcium, chloride, and magnesium. The general recommendation for water intake daily as an adult between 91 and 125 fluid ounces, or from 2.7 to 3.7 liters of water per day. The macrominerals are going to be calcium, chloride, and magnesium. You also have fluoride, potassium, and sodium. Phosphate, potassium, and sodium. Phosphate, potassium, and sodium. Sorry. Now, describe the ketogenic diet. That ketogenic diet is going to be a popular diet based on restricted carbohydrate intake. It's going to be ketogenic diet. The ketogenic diet, the ketogenic diet is going to be a popular diet based on restricted carbohydrate intake. Reduces carbohydrate intake to deliberately increase fat metabolism and ketones in the blood. On the keto diet, only about 20% of daily calories come from carbs. This amounts to about 50 grams based on a 2000 calorie diet. The remaining calories are divided between fats. Which is going to be 55 to 60%, and protein, which is going to be 30 to 35%. This is approximately 275 to 300 grams of protein and 66 to 77 grams of fats daily. If executed correctly, the keto diet will lead to a state of ketosis in the first week, which is a metabolic process that occurs when the body does not have enough carbohydrates for energy. The liver metabolizes fatty acids to produce ketones as a replacement energy source. So the liver for energy for energy. The liver is going to metabolize fatty acids to produce ketones as a replacement energy source. The liver metabolizes fatty acids. The liver metabolizes fatty acids to produce ketones as a replacement energy source. So the liver is going to metabolize fatty acids to produce ketones as a replacement energy source. The liver is going to metabolize fatty acids to produce ketones as a replacement energy source. The liver is going to metabolize fatty acids to produce ketones as a replacement energy source. The liver is going to metabolize fatty acids to produce ketones as a replacement energy source. The liver metabolizes fatty acids to produce ketones as a replacement energy source. Metabolizes fatty acids to produce ketones as a replacement energy source. Uh, what foods are avoided in a gluten-free diet? So, what foods are going to be avoided in a gluten-free diet? Foods based on gluten, which is a mix of proteins found in the grains like wheat, rye, and barley. The foods that are avoided in a gluten-free diet is going to be foods based on gluten. Foods avoided in a gluten-free diet is going to be foods based on gluten, which is a mix of proteins found in grains like wheat, rice, and barley. The foods that are avoided in a gluten-free diet is going to be foods based on gluten, which is a mix of proteins found in grains like wheat, rye, and barley. It gives dough its elastic texture made from these grains, and gluten-free adherents avoid anything with wheat. Gluten-free adherents avoid anything with wheat, barley, or rye. Gluten-free adherents avoid anything with wheat, barley, or rye. This includes ingredients and foods. This includes ingredients and foods like malt, beer, Brewster yeast, candy, baked goods, popcorn, pretzels, chips, crackers, and many condiment sauces like sauce and teriyaki sauce include gluten or gluten-based ingredients. Include gluten or gluten-based ingredients. So foods avoided in gluten-free diet include foods avoided in a gluten-free diet is going to be foods based on gluten, which is a mix of proteins found in grains like wheat, rye, and barley. It gives dough is elastic texture made from these grains. And uh, gluten-free adherents avoid gluten-free adherents avoid anything with wheat, barley, or rice, or rye, or rye. This includes this includes ingredients and foods like malt, beer, and brewer's yeast, candy, baked goods, popcorn, pretzels, chips, crackers, and many condiment sauces, and many condiment sauces like soy sauce and teriyaki sauce include gluten or gluten-based ingredients. Include gluten or gluten-based ingredients. For energy. The liver metabolizes fatty acids to produce ketones as a replacement energy source. All right, now the five nutritional limiting factors that may keep a client from seeing fitness results. The five nutritional limiting factors that may keep a client from seeing fitness results are going to be limiting added sugars. The five nutritional limiting factors that may keep a client from seeing results are going to be limiting added sugars, limiting unhealthy fats like saturated and trans fats, limiting sodium, limiting alcohol, and limiting carbonated drinks. That's going to be the five nutritional limiting factors that may keep a client from seeing results. The five nutritional limiting factors that may keep a client from seeing results. They're going to be the five nutritional limiting factors that may keep a client from seeing fitness results. They're going to be the limiting added sugars, the limiting unhealthy fats, like saturated and trans fats, the limiting sodium, the limiting alcohol, and the limiting carbonated drinks. The limiting carbonated drinks. Now in here you have the portion size, the portion size recommendations for the following types of foods. What are the portion size recommendations for the following types of foods? For men, protein dense foods, you have 2 pound portions with each meal. Vegetables, you have 2 fish with each meals. Carbohydrates, you have 2 cup handfuls with each meals. And for fat dense, you have 2 entire tons with most meals. For women, for protein dense foods, you have 1 pound of portion. For women, for protein dense foods, you have 1 pound portion with each meal. Vegetable, vegetables, you have one fifth for each meal. Carbohydrates, you have one cup handful with each meal. And finally, for fat dense foods, you have one entire ton with most meals. And that's it uh, for these chapters. For this chapter, chapter 14. For this, that's it for this chapter, chapter 14, which is going to be nutrition foundations. Chapter 15 is going to be supplementation. It's going to be even shorter. Now we're going to go over the quiz in here. Fight for fit. Store same, right? Solution exercise. Nutrition foundations. 1.5 to 4 feet. Now, nutrition foundations. Nutrition foundations. Quiz 13. Nutrition foundations. Reading food labels. Nutrition foundations. Reading food labels. Nutrition is a critical aspect of any fitness goal. How to read a nutritional label of nutrition facts. All packaged foods are required to have a label with nutrition information. Nutrition information for fresh foods is found online. When looking at a nutrition label, it's important to focus on serving size, the total calories, and the percentage and the percent daily value. And the percentage daily value. Two types of servings are daily values. The two types of serving sizes are going to be the two types of serving sizes are going to be individual serving size and the number of servings in the entire package. The two types of serving sizes are going to be individual serving size and the number of servings in the entire package. It's going to be that the two types of serving sizes are going to be the individual serving size and the number of servings in the entire package. The two types of serving sizes are going to be the individual serving size and the number of servings in the entire package. Uh, when looking at the nutrition label, it's important to focus on serving size, total calories, and the percentage daily values. Two types of serving sizes are going to be individual serving size and the number of servings in the entire package. And the number of servings in the entire package. In the entire package. Many people often underestimate how much they eat and don't understand how much the serving size of the foods they consume. Many people often underestimate how much they eat and they don't understand how much the serving size and they don't understand how much the serving size for the foods they consume. They may be eating more than they think. A single serving measure it out. Many people often underestimate how much they eat. Many people often underestimate how much they eat and don't understand how much the serving size for the foods they consume. They may be eating more than they may be eating more than they think. Than they think. Single serving you than they think. A single serving you need to measure it out. Calories clearly marked in the nutrition label. Example 130. Percentage of daily values follows. Helpful to evaluate how a food fits into a client's daily needs. Shows how much of a certain nutrient is in one serving contributes to. Shows how much of a certain nutrient in one serving contributes to the total daily diet. Contributes to the total daily diet. To the total daily diet. To the total daily diet. Foods low daily diet. Foods low in nutrients contain less than 5% of daily value. Foods that are low in nutrients, foods that are going to be low in nutrients, contains less than 5% of daily value. Some foods that are low in nutrients contain less than 5% of the daily value. Foods that are low in nutrients contain less than 5% of the daily value. A healthy diet is low in saturated fats, trans fats, and cholesterol and sodium. A healthy diet is going to be low in saturated fats, in trans fats, and in cholesterol and sodium. A high daily value is anything over 20%. Foods low in nutrients contains less than 5% of the daily value. Healthy diet is going to be low in saturated fats, in trans fats, in cholesterol, and in sodium. High daily value is going to be anything over 20%. The healthy diet is going to be low in saturated fats, in trans fats, and in cholesterol and sodium. A high daily value is going to be anything over 20%. A high daily value is going to be anything over 20%. A high daily value, a high daily value is going to be anything over 20%. Healthy diets should be high in vitamin. Healthy diets should be high in vitamin. Healthy diets should be high in vitamins, minerals, and fibers. The healthy diet should be high in vitamins, minerals, and fibers. Healthy diet should be high in vitamins, minerals, and fibers. Nutrition label also states that these values are based on a 2000 calorie diet. Nutrition label also states that these values are based on a 2000 calorie diet. Food that is 5% daily fat, it provides 5% of the recommended daily fat intake for someone needing 2000 calories a day. Food that has 5% daily fat, it provides 5% of the recommended daily fat intake for someone needing 2000 calories a day. But if a client needs 3000 calories a day, that equates to about 3% of their daily value. If a client needs 3000 calories a day, that equates to about 3% of their daily value. Terms like low calorie is going to be anything with 40 calories or less per serving. Low calorie is anything with 40 calories or less per serving. That's going to be low calorie. Anything with 40 calories or less per serving. Reduced calories or nutrients. Products that contain at least 25% or less of the specific nutrients or calories than the original product. Good source of is going to be 10 or 20 to 19% of the daily value in a single serving. Excellent source of at least 20% of the daily value in a single serving. Calorie free is going to be less than 5 calories per serving. Fat free or sugar free, any food with less than half a gram of fat of sugar per serving. Low sodium, single serving that has 140 milligrams or less of sodium per serving. Focus on general education to help clients make better food choices when it comes to nutrition. So terms like low calories, anything with 40 calories or less per serving, reduced calories or nutrient product with at least 25% or less of the specified nutrients or calories than the original product. Good source of is going to be 10 to 19% of the daily calorie of the daily value in a single serving. Excellent source of is at least 20% of the daily value of a nutrient or a vitamin is in a serving, in each serving. Then calorie free is going to be less than 5 calories per serving. Calorie free is when it has less than 5 calories per serving. Fat-free or sugar-free, any food with less than half a gram of fat or sugar per serving is going to be fat-free or sugar-free. It's going to be any food that has less than half a gram of fat or sugar per serving. Now, low sodium is going to be a single serving that has 140 milligrams or less of sodium per serving. Low sodium is going to be a single serving that has 140 milligrams or less of sodium per serving. And finally, it's going to focus on general education. And finally, you have to focus on general education to help clients make better food choices when it comes to nutrition. You have to focus on general education to help clients make better food choices when it comes to nutrition. Now, when it comes to nutrition, focus on general education to help clients make better food choices when it comes to nutrition. Low sodium is going to be a single serving that has 140 milligrams or less of sodium per serving. A single serving that has 140 milligrams or less of sodium per serving. And you need to focus on general education. You need to focus on general education to help clients make better food choices when it comes to nutrition. You need to focus on general education to help clients make better food choices when it comes to nutrition. Focus on general education when you focus on the general education to help clients make better food choices when it comes to nutrition. When it comes to nutrition. Now, food and immunity, two basic types of immunity as humans. You have innate immunity and acquired or adaptive immunity. You have two basic types of immunity as humans. Innate immunity or acquired adaptive immunity. Innate immunity is going to be the body's natural ability to protect itself from harmful pathogens. Innate immunity is going to be the body's natural ability to protect itself from harmful pathogens. And acquired adaptive immunity is part of our immune system that responds to new pathogens, part of our immune system that responds to new pathogens. Increases immune cells. It increases immune cells to destroy it by creating antibodies. Increases immune cells to destroy it by creating antibodies. Foods that we eat can affect whether our immune system functions as designed or not. Foods that we eat can affect whether or not our immune system functions as whether our immune system functions as designed or not. Immune system function can be reduced if poor nutrition leads to excess weight. Immune system function can be reduced if poor nutrition leads to excess weight. Obesity and chronic inflammation often coexist. Certainly, not all diseases can be avoided. Obesity and chronic inflammation, obesity and chronic inflammation, obesity and chronic inflammation often coexist. Obesity and chronic inflammation often coexist. Obesity and chronic inflammation often coexist. Certainly, not all diseases can be avoided. Obesity and chronic inflammation often coexist. Certainly, not all diseases can be avoided. And diet is an important component. Diet is an important component of preventing illness. Many health ISSA stress that diet is an important component of preventing illness. Healthy eating is going to be one of the best weapons to fight cardiovascular disease by the American Heart Association and the National Institute of Diabetes and kidney diseases guide and empower. You need to guide and empower healthy change. Uh, Guide and empower healthy change as a personal trainer. And healthy eating patterns are critical in reducing disease and infection. Healthy eating patterns are critical. Healthy eating patterns are critical in reducing disease and infection. So, which category of nutrients protect the body from free radicals and the cellular damage they cause? Which category of nutrients guide and empower healthy change as a personal trainer? Healthy eating patterns are critical. Healthy eating patterns are critical in reducing disease and infection. But healthy eating patterns are critical. Healthy eating patterns are critical in reducing disease and infection. So now the questions. Which category of nutrients protect the body from free radicals and the cellular damage they cause? That's going to be antioxidants. Which of the following ways can a certified personal trainer help the client with nutrition? In which of the following ways can a certified personal trainer help a client with nutrition? Often offer general nutritional guidance and recommendations. Which of the following ways can a certified personal trainer help a client with nutrition? As a certified personal trainer, you can help with the scope of practice that you need to offer general nutritional guidance and recommendations because you cannot recommend meal plans, you cannot treat diseases because you're just a personal trainer. Which of the following ways can a certified personal trainer can help the client with nutrition? Offer general nutritional guidance and recommendations. What type of carbohydrate is broken down and converted to energy in the body the quickest? Which type of carbohydrate is broken down and converted to energy in the body the quickest? The simple carbohydrates. The type of carbohydrate that is broken down and converted to energy in the body the quickest is going to be the simple carbohydrates. Which of the following is an example of a complex carbohydrate? Starchy vegetables. I knew it. Which of the following is an example of a complex carbohydrate? Starchy vegetables. An example of a complex carbohydrate is going to be starchy vegetables. An example of complex carbohydrate is going to be starchy vegetables. Which type of fats have been found to increase an individual's risk of coronary artery disease when consumed in excess? The trans fats, triglycerides, are going to be the most common form of fat in the body fat. That has to be obtained from the diet. Recommendation is going to be 30 to 35% of the daily calorie intake. And calories per gram is going to be 9 calories per gram. So, which type of fats have been found to increase an individual's risk of coronary artery disease when consuming in excess? The trans fats have been found to increase an individual's risk of coronary artery disease when an individual's risk of coronary artery disease when consuming in excess. That's the type of fat that's been found to increase an individual's risk of coronary artery disease when consuming in excess is going to be the trans fats. Which of the following foods has the highest number of grams of fat per 100 grams of food? Which of the following foods has the highest number of grams per 100 grams of food? Is going to be vegetable oil. I knew it. I remember this. This is the memory. Which of the following foods has the highest number of grams per 100 grams of food? Is going to be which of the following foods has the highest number of grams of fat per 100 grams of food? Is going to be vegetable oil, and that's going to have 100 grams. Per 100 grams of food is going to be vegetable oil, 100 grams, page 101. Approximately what percentage of the average adult's total body weight is water? It's going to be 60% of the total adult's body weight. Total body weight is going to be water. Which of the following is the recommended portion size of a serving of a protein for a male? 2 pounds. The recommended portion size for a serving of protein for a male is going to be 2 pounds. Which of the following is the recommended portion size for serving of fat for a female? 1 pound. Recommended portion size for a serving of fats for a female is going to be 1 thumb. And what are nutritional limiting factors? The nutritional limiting factors are nutritional choices the client makes that keeps them from making progress and seeing results. The nutritional limiting factors are going to be the nutritional choices that the client makes that keep them from making progress or seeing results. They're going to be the nutritional limiting factors, the nutritional choices the client makes that keep them from making progress or seeing results. Then the nutritional limiting factors are going to be the nutritional choices that the client makes that keep them from making progress or seeing results. Changes that. Be one of the best weapons to fight cardiovascular disease by the American Heart Association National Institute of Kidney Diseases. Guide and empower healthy change as a personal trainer. Healthy eating patterns are critical in reducing disease and infection. So which category of nutrients disease and infection? Which category of nutrients protect the body from free radicals and the cellular damage they cause? It's going to be the antioxidants. Uh, it's going to be the antioxidants. Which of the following ways can a certified personal trainer often which of the following ways can a certified personal trainer help a client with nutrition? With nutrition, it's going to be by offer general nutrition guidance and recommendations. Which type of carbohydrate is broken down and converted to energy in the body the quickest is going to be the simple carbohydrates. Which of the following is an example of a complex carbohydrate? Starchy vegetables is going to be an example of a complex carbohydrate. It's going to be starchy vegetables. Is going to be an example of a complex carbohydrate. Starchy vegetables. Starchy vegetables. Which types of fats has been found to increase an individual's risk of coronary artery disease when consuming in excess? It's going to be trans fat. The types of fat that has been found to increase an individual's risk of coronary artery disease when consumed in excess is going to be the trans fats. In excess is going to be the trans fat. Which of the following foods has the trans fat? Which of the following foods has the highest number of of fat per 100 grams of food? Which of the following foods has the highest number of grams of fat per 100 grams of food is going to be vegetable oil. The following foods that have the highest number of grams of fat, the highest number of grams of fat per 100 grams of food, the following foods that have the highest number of grams of fat per 100 grams of food is going to be the vegetable oil. When consumed in excess is going to be trans fats. It's going to be the trans fat. Going to be the trans fat. Which of the following foods has the highest number of grams of fat per 100 grams of food, vegetable oil? Which of the following foods has the highest number of grams of fat per 100 grams of food? Is going to be the vegetable oil. Per 100 grams of food is going to be the vegetable oil. Is going to be the vegetable oil. The following food that has the highest number of grams of fat per 100 grams of food is going to be the vegetable oil. The vegetable oil. The vegetable oil. Percentage of average adult total body weight of water is the percentage of the average adult total body weight that is water is going to be the percentage of the adults total of the average adults total body weight that is water is going to be 60% of the percentage of the adults and 75% in children. The percentage of the average adult total body weight that is water is going to be 60%. That is what is 60%, which is the following recommendation portion size for a serving of protein for a male is going to be 2 pounds. It's going to be the recommended portion size for a serving of protein for a male. Is going for a serving of protein for a male is going to be 2 pounds of protein for a male. 2 pounds of protein for a male. Now, the following the recommended portion size for a serving of fats for a female. The recommended portion size for a serving of fats for a female is going to be 1 thumb. And finally, what are the nutritional limiting factors? It's going to be the nutritional choices a client makes that keep them from making progress or seeing results. Now, nutritional choices that a client makes that keeps them from making progress or seeing results. It's going to be the nutritional limiting factors. That was part of the nutritional foundation. The nutritional or seeing results. That's part of the nutritional foundation. Now, for supplementation, we go. Now we go to supplementation. Supplementation. Learning objectives of supplementation is going to be explain the importance of vitamins, minerals. Explain the importance of vitamins and minerals as in supplements. Explain the importance of vitamins and minerals in supplements. Explain the importance of vitamins and minerals in supplements. Identify supplements that enhance exercise performance and recovery, and define the benefits of incorporating the ecogenic aids and botanicals in the person's nutrition plan. So those are the three learning objectives for supplementation. Explain the importance of vitamins and minerals in supplements. Identify the supplements that enhances exercise performance and recovery, and define the benefits of incorporating ergogenic aids and botanicals into a person's nutrition plan for supplementation. Active fitness. So explain the importance of vitamins and minerals in supplements. You need to explain the importance of vitamins and minerals in supplements. Identify supplements that enhance exercise performance and recovery, and define the benefits of incorporating the ergogenic aids and botanicals in a person's nutrition plan. Dietary supplements are probably containing one or more dietary ingredients that is intended to supplement a person's nutrition plan. The high reference intakes are recommended daily allowance of supplementation, dietary supplements. Okay, one more break, and I'm going to go over supplementation. Supplementation chapter 15. Supplementation chapter 15, rather. So, and supplementation only has one page. Ergogenic aids, the most common nutritional supplement, multivitamin, minerals, and activities. If we're going over to chronic conditions, arthritis, supplementation. Okay, bro. Let's get it. We're live, dude. We're live. Yeah, we hit the 2 hour mark. This is going to be the last break, and then we're gonna finish chapter 15 and everything at all of it. That's it. All of it. Qué rareza. Qué bestia. I'm gonna start with the supplementation chapter. Mira cómo carga esta loquita. Qué bien, ¿ah? Okay, we're getting started with the supplementation chapter and it's gonna be fun. Ay, sabe, huevo. Qué loco. Sabes. Supplementation chapter right now. Let me see this. Hold up. Guidance where you have to offer basic nutritional education and guidance. Let me see this. Hold up. Guidance where you have to offer basic nutritional education. Is it actually like, how do you listen to this? Let me see this. Hold up. Guidance. Let me see this. Qué loco. Ay, sabe, huevo. Qué loco. Qué ¿Sabes? Loco, ¿no? Yeah, ahí está, bro. No, it's all good. What's going on? Oh my god. Don't following me, bro. All right, supplementation chapter. Let's get it. We go over supplementation now. And we have some terms for supplementation. You have the dietary supplements. For supplementation, you have. Can you stop? It's annoying, bro. For supplementation, you have dietary supplements, nutrient requirements, and deficiencies, dietary reference intakes, recommended daily allowance, iron deficiency, multivitamins and minerals, reasons to consider dietary supplements, performance enhancement supplements, ergogenic aids, botanical supplements, cannabinoid, cannabinoid, CBD, and creatine and caffeine. That's going to be the chapter 15 supplementation. Chapter 15 supplementation terms. Dietary supplements. You have dietary supplements, nutrients requirements and deficiencies, dietary reference intakes, the recommended daily allowance, iron deficiency, multivitamins, mineral, reasons to consider dietary supplements, performance enhancement supplements, ergogenic aids, botanical supplements, cannabinoid, and creatine and caffeine. So, learning objectives of the chapter 15 supplementation, you have explain the importance of minerals and vitamins in supplements. Identify the supplements that enhance exercise performance and recovery. And define the benefits of incorporating ergogenic aids and botanicals in a person's nutrition plan. That some of the dietary supplements are going to be. What are the dietary supplements? First of all, it is going to be a product containing one or more dietary ingredients that is intended to supplement a person's nutrition plan. It's going to be dietary supplements, a definition, a product containing one or more dietary ingredients that is intended to supplement a person's nutrition plan. Dietary supplements, the definition is going to be a product containing one or more dietary ingredients that is intended to supplement a person's nutrition plan. The dietary reference intakes in a person's nutrition plan. Dietary supplements is going to be a product containing one or more dietary ingredients that is intended to supplement a person's nutrition plan. And you have two types: nutrition requirements and deficiencies. You have the for the nutrition requirements and deficiencies, you have the dietary for the nutrition requirements and deficiencies, you have the dietary reference intakes and the recommended daily allowance. The dietary reference intakes for nutrition requirements and deficiencies. For the dietary reference intakes, you have a set of standards to estimate how much of a nutrient should be ingested by an individual that is used by in planning eating habits. Uh, that is used in planning eating habits, eating patterns for healthy individuals. The dietary reference index is a set of standards estimating how much of a nutrient should be ingested by that is used in planning eating patterns for a healthy individual. For healthy individuals. Dietary dietary reference intakes. a set of standards. The dietary reference index are a set of standards estimating how much of a nutrient should be ingested that is used in planning eating habit in eating patterns for healthy individuals. Now, for the recommended daily allowance, the RDA is going to be the average daily level of intake sufficient to meet the needs of nearly all 97 to 95% of healthy people. The average daily level of intake sufficient to meet the needs of nearly 97% to 98% of healthy people. For dietary supplements, is going to be a product containing one or more dietary ingredients that is intended to supplement a person's nutrition plan. Dietary supplements is going to be a product containing one or more dietary ingredients that is intended to supplement a person's nutrition plan. Now, in here, the dietary reference intakes, nutrition requirements, deficiencies. The dietary reference intakes is going to be a set of standards estimating how much of a nutrient to be ingested by an individual that is used in planning eating patterns for healthy individuals. And the RDA, the recommended daily allowance, is going to be the average daily level of intake sufficient to meet the needs of nearly all 97% of to 98% of healthy people. In here, that 2020 to 2025 dietary guidelines for Americans states that the general population in the US fails to meet the recommendations of for food groups and nutrient intakes. The 2000 to 2025 dietary ingredients for Americans states that the general population in the US fails to meet the recommendations for food groups and nutrient intakes. The general population in the US fails to meet the recommendations for food groups and nutrient intakes. In here you have the iron deficiencies, which is going to be the iron deficiency, which is one of the most common nutrient deficiencies. Iron deficiency is one of the most common nutrient deficiencies. And multivitamins, minerals are one of the most common dietary supplements. Multivitamins, minerals are one of the most common dietary supplements. Now, some of the reasons for an individual to consider dietary supplements. Some of the reasons to consider dietary supplements for an individual. Reasons for an individual to consider dietary supplements. Individuals restricting calories by consuming less than 1,200 calories a day, they need to consider dietary supplements. Individuals restricting calories by consuming less than 1,200 calories a day. Individuals with food allergies or intolerances are going to be another reason for individuals to consume dietary supplements. Individuals with food allergies or intolerances. Now, aging often requires more of certain nutrients. Aging often requires more of certain nutrients. People who spend little to no time under the sun. People who spend a little to no time under the sun, they don't get the sufficient vitamin D. People who spend little to no time under the sun. Preconception, preconception or pregnancy. Preconception or pregnancy is also another reason. Preconception or pregnancy. Poor eating patterns. Preconception or pregnancy, then you have poor eating patterns. Preconception or pregnancy, then you have poor eating patterns and certain medications. And certain medications. Poor eating patterns and certain medications. Instruments and recovery. Explain the importance of vitamins and minerals in supplements. Uh, Identify supplements explain the importance of vitamins and minerals in supplements. Identify supplements that enhances exercise performance and recovery. And define the benefits of incorporating ergogenic aids and botanicals in a person's nutrition plan. Dietary supplements are products containing one or more dietary ingredients that are intended to supplement a person's nutrition plan. Uh, Nutrition requirements deficiencies, you have the dietary reference intakes that DRAI is going to be a set of standards estimating how much of a nutrient should be ingested that is used in planning eating patterns. For healthy individuals, the dietary reference index is going to be a set of standards estimating how much of a nutrient should be ingested that is used in planning eating patterns for healthy individuals. Now in here you have the recommended daily allowance for healthy individuals. For healthy individuals, the recommended daily allowance is going to be the average daily level of intake that is sufficient to meet the needs of nearly all healthy people. The average daily level of intake that is sufficient to meet the needs of nearly all 97 to 98% of healthy people. To meet the needs of nearly all 97 to 98% of healthy people. The 2000 to 2025 dietary guidelines for Americans state that the general population states The 2000 to 2025 dietary guidelines for Americans states that the general population in the US fails to meet the recommendations for food groups and nutrient intakes. The 2000 to 2025 dietary guidelines for Americans states that the general population in the US fails to meet the recommendations for food groups and nutrient intakes. The general population in the US fails to meet the general recommendations for, for food groups and nutrient intakes. Iron deficiency is one of the most common nutrient deficiencies. And multivitamins, multiminerals are going to be the most common dietary supplements, are one of the most common dietary supplements. Reasons for individuals to consider dietary supplements: the individual restricting calorie consumption by restricting calories by consuming less than 1,200 calories a day, individuals with food allergies or intolerances, aging often requires more of certain nutrients, people who spend little to no time under the sun, uh, then preconception or pregnancy. Preconception is going to be another reason. Preconception or pregnancy. Preconception or pregnancy. And finally, you have poor eating patterns, poor eating patterns, poor eating patterns, and certain medications. Poor eating patterns and certain medications. Poor eating patterns and certain medications. You have certain performance enhancement supplements in here. Here are the performance enhancement supplements. The performance enhancement supplements are going to be supplements performance recovery, and define the benefits of incorporating organic aids and botanicals in a person's nutrition plan. Now, here are going to be the performance enhancement supplements. The performance enhancement supplements are going to be antioxidants, arginine, beta-alanine, nitrite, beetroot extract, the the branched the branched chain amino acids, leucine, isoleucine, and valine, they are all going to be for part of the nine essential amino acids. Caffeine, calcium, citrulline, creatine, glutamine, and iron. So the performance enhancement supplements, the antioxidants, vitamin C, E, and coenzyme Q10, the antioxidants, vitamin C, E, and coenzyme Q10. The effect on exercise and performance is going to be that it minimizes free radicals, damage to skeletal muscle, and reduces muscle fatigue, inflammation, and soreness. A safe general UL is going to be for vitamin C is going to be 2,000 milligrams a day, vitamin E 1,000 milligrams a day, and coenzyme Q10 you have 120 milligrams per day. RG9 increases blood flow and delivery of oxygen and nutrients to muscle, increases selection of human growth hormone, and the safe and the safe general and the safe general UL is going to be up to 9 grams per day. Beta alanine increased synthesis of carnosine, a peptide that buffers changes in muscle pH, reducing muscle fatigue. And it's going to be safety general 6 to 6.4 grams per day for up to 8 weeks. It's 6 to 6.4 grams per day. Nitrate is going to be beetroot extract. delays blood vessels in exercising muscle, and improves energy production. Delays blood vessels in exercising muscles, delays blood vessels. Nitrate is going to be the beetroot extract. Is going to dilate blood vessels in exercising muscles and improves energy production. It's going to be 310 to 382 milligrams or 2 cups of beetroot juice 2.5 to 3 hours before exercise. Branch chain amino acids, the BCAAs, leucine, isoleucine, and valine, metabolized by mitochondria in skeletal muscle to produce energy during exercise. You have to take up to 20 grams per day in divided doses. Then caffeine is going to reduce perceived pain and exertion and increases fat metabolism up to 400 to 500 milligrams per day for adults. Calcium improves bones and joint health and help muscles contract. You have to consume up, up to improves bone and joint health and helps muscles contract. And you have to consume up to 2,500 milligrams per day. Now, citrulline is going to increase the delivery of oxygen and nutrients in muscle. It increases the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to muscle. And you have to take 6 grams per day. Creatine helps muscle generate energy for short-term anaerobic activity. Anaerobic activity. And you have to take 3 to 5 grams per day for up to 12 weeks. Glutamine, metabolism and energy production, improves immune function and preserves protein stores, reduces fatigue, uh, and decreases muscle soreness. And you have to take 0.42 grams per kilograms of body weight. And finally, iron, it increases oxygen uptake, reduces heart rate, and decreases lactate concentration during exercise, which in turn increases blood flow. And you have to take up to 45 milligrams per day blood flow. And you have to take, safe general UL is going to be up to 45 milligrams per day for iron. Now, what are ergogenic aids? Ergogenic aids are going to be nutritional, pharmacological, or physiological aid that enhances exercise capacity. That's going to be ergogenic aid, nutritional, pharmacological, or physiological aid that enhances exercise capacity. And examples are going to be creatine monohydrate, beta alanine. You have the branch chain amino acids, which are going to be leucine, isoleucine, and valine. Then you have the the stimulants, and then you have stimulants and banned substances like anaerobic androgenic steroids. You have stimulants, and finally, you have banned substances like the anabolic androgenic steroids. That's going to be part of the banned substances, which are going to be anabolic androgenic steroids. Now, the botanical supplements. A botanical is a plant or plant part containing various medicinal properties. It's going to be a botanical supplements. A botanical is a plant or plant part containing various medicinal properties. They come in many forms, including fresh and dried plants, part plants, and extracts. Supplements are not regulated by the FDA, so you have to do your research to understand them. Uh, they are not drugs. They are not drugs. They are listed as dietary supplements. They are not drugs. They are listed as dietary supplements. And examples of them are going to be, and examples of botanical supplements, and examples of botanical supplements are going to be examples of botanical supplements are going to be primary usage. Examples of botanical supplements are going to be primary usage, research, and notes. Examples of botanical supplements, primary usage, research, and notes are going to be the cannabinoid, which is going to be CBD, reduces anxiety, improves sleep, and increases weight loss. Research is inconclusive since most is done on mice and not humans. Then you have cinnamon, you have echinacea, you have garlic, you have ginger, you have green tea, you have judia, you have milk thyrso, you have sao palmetto, and you have valerian, and you have finally valerian. And remember that nutrition and valerian, cannabinoid, cinnamon, etrichea, garlic, ginger, green tea, judia, milk, thyrso, sao palmetto, and valerian. Palmetto, so Palmetto, and Valerian. You have to remember that nutrition is not a major part of the final exam. It makes up about 5 to 10% of the final exam. Nutrition is not a major part of the final exam. It makes up about 5 to 10% of the final exam. So, like the information that we saw here is extremely general, and some of it you don't really need to memorize. You have to know botanical supplements or ergogenic aid for these chapters, nutritional pharmacological or physiological aid that enhances exercise capacity, like the creatine monohydrate, the beta-alanine, the branch-chain amino acids, stimulants, and binding substances like steroids, uric steroids, and for the botanical supplements, like botanical is a plant part containing various medicinal properties. They come in many forms, including fresh and dried plants, plant parts, and extracts. Supplements are not regulated by the FDA. You have to do research to understand them. They're not drugs, so they are listed as dietary supplements. And examples are going to be cannabinoid, CBD, cinnamon, trichea, garlic, ginger, green tea, hoodie, amilters, sao palmetto, and valerian. So ergogenic aid and botanicals are important. Supplements are important in this chapter. But you have to remember that nutrition is not a major part of the final exam, and Valerian. You have to remember that nutrition is not a major part of the final exam. It's going to make up about 5 to 10% of the final exam. A maximum of 14 questions are going to be focused on nutrition out of the 140 questions. So you do not have to really focus on it too much. So in here, we're going to see now on the workbook, from the workbook, the nutrition foundations. Proteins and processed foods, complex carbohydrates, starches and fibers, legumes, starchy vegetables and whole grains, breads and cereals. Uh, for carbohydrates, 45 to 65% of all daily calories. For fat, 30 to 55%. And for protein, 10 to 35% of daily calories. Isoleucine, BCAA, leucine, BCAA, and vanine is going to be BCAA. Isoleucine, leucine, and vanine. We're going to be figure the nice amino acid, then histidine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, and tryptophan, vanine. That's not non-essential amino acids. The water, 2/3 of the body's total water is going to be found within the cells, and 1/3 of the water is going to be found outside the cells. The calcium, chloride, magnesium. The other one is going to be phosphate, potassium, and sodium. Yeah, so macro minerals. The ketogenic diets, then the gluten-free diets, then five nutritional limit factors, five nutritional limiting factors that may keep a client from seeing fitness results, five nutritional limiting factors that may keep a client from seeing results, five nutritional limiting factors that may keep a client from seeing fitness results are going to be limiting added sugars, limiting unhealthy fats, saturated and trans fats, limiting sodium, limiting alcohol, and limiting alcohol and limiting carbonated drinks. And finally, the portion sizes recommendations for the following types of foods. The portion size recommendations for the following types of foods are going to be protein dense foods is going to be 2 pounds portions, vegetables 2 fish, carbohydrates 2 cups, and fat dense 2 entire tons. Most meals for men. For women, 1 pound portion for each meal for protein, 1 fish for vegetables, 1 cup for carbohydrates, and 1 entire ton for fat dense foods. Five nutritional limiting factors that may keep a client from seeing fitness results are going to be results, limiting added sugars, limiting unhealthy fats, saturated and trans fats, limiting sodium, limiting alcohol, and limiting carbonated drinks. protein, vegetables, carbohydrates, and fat. Protein for women, protein, vegetables, carbohydrates, and fats for women. For women, men and women. Women is half of the men. Gluten-free diets. And here is going to be the supplementation chapter. Supplementation, chapter 15. So define a dietary supplement. A dietary supplement, the National Institutes of Health defines a dietary supplement as a product that contains one or more dietary ingredients and is intended to supplement a person's nutrition plan. A person's nutrition plan. A dietary ingredient in a nutrition plan. A dietary ingredient is a vitamin, mineral, herb, botanical, or amino acid used to supplement a nutrition plan to increase total dietary intake of ingredients. This could be a concentrate, a metabolite, a constituent, an extract, or a of combination of the preceding substances. Or a combination of the preceding substances. uh, a concentrate, a metabolite, a constituent, an extract, or a combination of the preceding substances. Common supplements may be designed, concentrate, a metabolite, a constituent, an extract, or a combination of the preceding substances. Common supplements may be designed as performance supplements. Common supplements may be designated as performance supplements, nutritional supplements, ergogenic aids, and botanical supplements. Common supplements may be designated as performance supplements, nutritional supplements, ergogenic aids, and botanical supplements. Define ergogenic aids. Substances that enhance energy production and provide athletes with a competitive advantage. Nutritional, pharmacological, physiological, or physiological aids that enhances exercise capacity. In that enhances exercise capacity. Some techniques such as carbo loading are safe and widely accepted. Others, such as the use of anabolic androgenic steroids, are banned by governing bodies. Are banned by governing bodies. By governing bodies. What is the most common by governing bodies? What is the most common nutritional supplements, such as the use of anabolic and androgenic steroids, are banned by governing bodies? Are banned by governing bodies. Now, what is the most common nutritional supplement? What is the most common nutritional supplement? It's going to be multivitamins, minerals, supplements or pills containing a combination of vitamins and minerals. The most common nutritional supplement is going to be the multivitamins, minerals. The supplements or pills containing a combination of vitamins and minerals. A combination of vitamins or minerals. The most common nutritional supplement is going to be the multivitamins, minerals, supplements or pills containing a combination of vitamins and minerals. And what is the scope of practice for personal trainers regarding supplementation? It is outside of the scope of practice for a personal trainer to recommend or prescribe dietary supplements to clients. Personal trainers and fitness professionals can help clients navigate this information and understand what they should look for to ensure their dietary supplements are safe, effective, of a superior quality, and free from contaminants, banned substances, or impurities. So we're here to help them, not to prescribe, not to recommend or prescribe them, or prescribe it to them. That's part of the job of an actual doctor, not of us. Or impurities. Video. Now we're going to go over chronic conditions after that. But in here, the quiz, supplementation. 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 Personal trainers. Quiz 14. Quiz 14 for supplementation when you have already 39% battery remaining. Quiz 14 for supplementation. Personal trainers, nutrition, and supplementation. Fitness professionals are experts in human movement and the muscular scale and skeletal system. Fitness professionals are experts in the human movement and the muscular and skeletal system. Foundational nutrition information estimate. Clients' basic metabolic rate, daily calorie expenditure, and a general estimate of calorie and a general estimate of daily calorie needs from food to support their goals. Fitness professionals are experts in human movement and the muscular and skeletal system. Foundational nutrition information estimate clients' basic metabolic rate, daily calorie expenditure, and a general estimate of daily calorie needs from food to support their goals. To support their goals. Three macronutrients are going to be protein, carbohydrate, and fat. Do not tell clients exactly what to eat. So, fitness professionals are experts in human movement and the muscular and skeletal system. Foundational nutrition estimation for supplementation. Uh, that isn't for making progress or seeing results. For supplementation, personal trainers, nutrition, and supplementation. Fitness professionals are experts in human movement and the muscular and skeletal system. And the muscular skeletal system. Foundational nutritional information estimate. From a foundational nutrition information estimate, client's basic metabolic rate, daily calorie expenditure, uh, and a general estimate of daily calorie needs from food to support their goals. Foundational nutritional information estimate. The fitness professionals are experts in human movement and the musculoskeletal system. Foundational nutrition information estimate. You have the client's basic metabolic rate, the daily calorie expenditure, and a general estimate of daily calorie needs from food to support their goals, and a general estimate of daily calorie needs from food to support their goals, of daily calorie needs from food to support their goals, from food to support their goals, to support their goals. So foundational nutrition, so fitness professionals are treating movement and muscular system. Foundational nutrition information, estimate client specific metabolic rate, daily calorie expenditure, and the general estimate of the and a general estimate of daily calorie needs from food uh, to support their goals. To support their goals. The free macronutrients are going to be protein, carbohydrate, and fat. Do not tell clients exactly what to eat. This is do not tell clients exactly what to eat. This is a major liability. Refer clients to a licensed dietitian or their physician for nutritional guidance. For nutritional guidance. Supplements. For supplements, you're going to have for supplements, you're going to have nutritional, performance, ergogenic aids, and botanical supplements. Inform a personal trainer what each supplement does in the body. Inform a personal trainer what each supplement does in the body, uh, and common reasons a client may take them. Do not recommend or prescribe supplements. Refer clients to their physician. Refer clients to their physician. So their supplements are going to be nutritional, performance, ergogenic aids, and botanical supplements. Inform a personal trainer what each supplement does in the body and common reasons a client may take them. Do not recommend or prescribe supplements. Do not recommend or prescribe supplements. Refer clients to their physician. Do not recommend or prescribe supplements. Refer the clients or prescribe the supplements. You need to refer the clients to their physician. You need to refer the clients to their physician. So, which of the following is an example? Refer the clients to their physician. So, which of the following is an example of a performance supplement? Which of the following is an example of a performance supplement? Is going to be creatine monohydrate. Creatine monohydrate is going to be a performance supplement. He'll muscle generates energy for short-term anaerobic activity, 3 to 5 grams a day for up to 12 weeks. So which of the following is an example of a performance supplement? Is going to be creatine monohydrate. Which of the following animal-based protein source has the highest bioavailability in the human body? Which of the following animal-based protein sources has the highest bioavailability in the human body? Is going to be soy protein isolate. Soy protein isolate, which is 94 bioavailability, 94 BV, is going to be the animal-based protein source that has the highest bioavailability in the human body. It's going to be the soy protein isolate. Which of the following is a good source of vitamin C? Brussels sprouts. I just had this today. A good source of vitamin C is going to be by Brussels sprouts. Which of the following is a good source of vitamin C? By Brussels sprouts. Vitamin C is a good source of Brussels sprouts is a good source of vitamin C. Which of the following is a good source of vitamin C? Is going to be Brussels sprout. Which of the following is a good source of the mineral calcium? Dairy is a good source of the mineral calcium. Which of the following is a food source of the mineral calcium? Is going to be dairy. A food source of the mineral calcium is going to be dairy. A food source of the mineral calcium is going to be dairy. Which of the following is a function of sodium in the body? A function of sodium in the body is going to be fluid balance. A function of sodium in the body is going to be fluid balance. Sodium in the body generates fluid balance. Fluid balance is going to be a function of sodium in the body. According to the World Health Organization, what is one of the most common nutrient deficiencies worldwide? According to the World Health Organization, one of the most common nutrient deficiencies worldwide is going to be iron deficiency, anemia. Anemia. According to the World Health Organization, one of the most common nutrient deficiencies worldwide is going to be iron deficiency. Is going to be one of the most common nutrient deficiencies worldwide. One of the most common nutrient deficiencies worldwide is going to be iron deficiency or anemia. Which of the following is a good source of vitamin E? Peanuts is going to be a good source of vitamin E. Peanuts is going to be a good source of vitamin E. Where in the digestive tract are amino acids absorbed? In the small intestine, the amino acids are absorbed. The amino acids are going to be absorbed in the small intestine. Amino acids are absorbed in the small intestine. When selecting a multivitamin, what information should be considered? Sex and age should be considered when selecting a multivitamin. Sex and age should be considered when selecting a multivitamin. And in a normal healthy adult, what percentage of food consumed is absorbed in the GI tract? 95%. 95% of the food is consumed in the GI tract. In a normal healthy adult, the percentage of food consumed absorbed in the GI tract is going to be 95% of the food is going to be absorbed in the GI tract. In a normal healthy adult, what percentage of food is consumed is going to be absorbed in the GI tract? It's going to be 95% of the food is going to be absorbed in the GI tract. It was a little bit more dense than I expected. 95% of the food is going to be absorbed in the GI tract. And it's going to look at here just so you understand what is vitamin E. In this case, vitamin E. Vitamin E is going to be fat-soluble nutrient found in many foods. It acts as an antioxidant. It helps protect cells from damage caused by free radicals. Free radicals are well, cause no problems. Deficiency. Antioxidants are good sources of vitamin E. Peanuts. Peanuts are peanut butter are gonna be sunflower almonds. Then also avocados. I believe in here you say avocados. Avocados is also a good source of vitamin E. The kiwi fruit, the butternut squash, broccoli, olive oil, shrimp is really good. Okay. 95% of the the food that is absorbed in the GI tract is going to be 95%. Chronic conditions and lifestyle populations. And here it is, bro. False. Page 540. Supplementation. Personal trainers, nutrition supplementation, fitness professionals expressing human movement and the muscular and skeletal system. Foundational nutrition information. Estimate clients' basic metabolic rate, the daily calorie expenditure, and a general estimate of daily calorie needs from food to support their goals. Free macronutrients are going to be protein, carbohydrate, and fat. Do not tell clients exactly what to eat. It's a mere liability. Refer clients to a licensed dietitian or their physician for nutritional guidance. Supplements are going to be nutritional, performance, ergogenic aids, and botanical supplements. Inform a personal trainer what each supplement does in the body and the common reasons a client may take them. Do not recommend or prescribe supplements. Refer clients to their physician. Refer clients to their physician. Which of the following is an example of a performance supplement? Is going to be creatine monohydrate. Which of the following is an animal-based protein source that has the highest bioavailability in the human body? Which of the following animal-based protein sources has the highest bioavailability in the human body? Is going to be the soy protein isolate. The soy protein isolate with 94 bioavailability in the human body. The soy protein isolate. Which of the following is a good source of vitamin C? Brussels sprouts is going to be a good source of vitamin C. Which of the following is a food source of the mineral calcium? Which of the following is a food source of the mineral calcium? Which of the following is a food source of the mineral calcium? It's going to be dairy. Dairy is a food source of the mineral calcium. Which of the following is a function of the sodium in the body? A function of sodium in the body is going to be fluid balance. A function of sodium in the body is going to be fluid balance. It's going to be a function of sodium in the body. Fluid balance is going to be a function of sodium in the body. Now, according to the World Health Organization, what is one of the most common nutrient deficiencies worldwide? Iron deficiencies is going to be one of the most common nutrient deficiencies worldwide. Anemia. According to the World Health Organization, one of the most common nutrient deficiencies worldwide is going to be iron deficiencies. One of the most common nutrient deficiencies worldwide is going to be iron deficiency, anemia. Which of the following is a food source of vitamin E? A food source of vitamin E is going to be peanuts. A food source, a food source of vitamin E is going to be peanuts, where in the digestive tract are amino acids absorbed in the small intestine. Where in the digestive tract are amino acids are absorbed. Amino acids are absorbed in the small intestine. Now, when selecting a multivitamin, what information should be considered? Sex and age. When selecting a multivitamin, you need to consider sex and age. When selecting a multivitamin, what information should be considered? Sex and age. And finally, in a normal healthy adult, what percentage of food is consumed is stored in the GI tract? It's going to be 95%. In a normal healthy adult, what percentage of food consumed is absorbed in the GI tract? Is going to be 95% of the food is going to be absorbed in the GI tract. 95% of the food is going to be absorbed in the GI tract. 95%. 95% of the food is going to be absorbed in the GI tract. 95% of the food is going to be absorbed in the GI tract for a normal healthy adult. 95%. Yeah, there you go, bro. 95%, dude. Current conditions. in the GI tract is going to be 95% of food is absorbed in the GI tract. 95% of food is absorbed in the GI tract. Now we're gonna go over chronic conditions and then lifespan population. It's gonna be the next chapter. The percentage of food is absorbed in the GI tract is going to be 95% of food is gonna be absorbed in the GI tract. 95% of food is gonna be absorbed in the GI tract. Yeah. Chronic conditions and supplementation. No, chronic conditions and lifespan populations. Lifespan populations, chronic conditions, lifespan populations, business and marketing, and safety and emergency situations. So we have 2 more days, basically, 2 more days to finish it all. We may also take one really long day, and that will be the end of this session. But anyways, guys, we studied for 3 hours today. I look amazing with my new haircut. I love it. I look like Eminem, you know. I try to do the Eminem look, and it's my look. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later for chronic conditions and lifetime populations. Uh, which is yeah, yeah. There's a lot of hypertension, diabetes, arthritis, asthma. I heard this is an asthma. Yeah. Supplements, supplementation. Chapter for 15 supplementation, you have, for supplementation, you have dietary supplements, nutrient requirements and deficiencies, dietary reference intakes, recommended daily allowance, iron deficiency, multivitamins, minerals, reasons to consider dietary supplements, performance enhancement supplements. Then you have ergogenic aids, botanical supplements. You have ergogenic aids, botanical supplements. Then you have after botanical supplements, you have cannabinoid and creatine and caffeine. Cannabinoid and creatine and caffeine. Chronic conditions, lifespan populations, business and marketing, and safety and emergency situation is going to be the last three situations. Going to be the last 4 chapters. The last 4 chapters, my friend. Creatine. Okay, guys, that's been the Alpha Masters.